Hi, all. This is Christina Pulver, Forza One Volleyball, and I'm sitting here today with the head coach at Rutgers University in New Jersey, Coach Caitlyn. And will you please pronounce your last name for me?
Yeah, it's Schweihofer. I spell it wrong sometimes. I acquired it through marriage, not my not my born last name, but
Yeah,
yeah, we're
no.
getting better.
So how are you? Congratulations, you get the head coaching job, and all of this goes into effect. How are you getting to know your team? How are you staying connected? And how's the family?
It's good. Yes, I arrived on campus in New Jersey on January 22nd, and we had started back school around January 18th, and so we kind of got the ball rolling right away. Met everyone, went through all the traditional kind of first month processes of getting being the new head coach, getting a staff in place, and we were just kind of getting into our true spring season, and we were the day before our spring break when we were told that our season was no longer happening. So it's been an interesting transition, but fortunately I've been able to move down from Boston, get situated in our new home, get my family situated here. So the change has been, it's been a challenging one, but the time has been nice to be able to get used to where we are now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So are you doing Zoom calls, or how are you staying connected with the girls?
So I'm not sure if you are aware, but half my team is international. So I acquired a lot of international players. We only had 7 that were continuing on returning from the previous staff. So and 5 of those players are international. So we have 3 players in Russia right now. We have 1 in Serbia, actually 2 in Serbia. And so trying to stay connected with everyone with the time change has definitely been a challenge. We have been doing a lot of like group chats and social media challenges and things like that. But we try and get on a conference call, like a web call, at least every other week. But we've been trying to stay connected in different ways because there is an 8-hour time change for some of our players. Time
Yeah,
difference.
that is a big difference. And you've had a really fun and diverse coaching career in the collegiate world. Let's go and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I have a fairly unique path to where I am today. It's been a lot of different steps to get to this role, and I'm very grateful for all of them. I have a unique situation where I don't have a traditional Power Five background. I've taken um, some roles where I've had to really focus on rebuilding, and that was what was being looked for here in the Rutgers volleyball program. Is it's really a rebuilding role, and I have my master's in change management, so I think that having that educational background has lent itself to what my experience was at LaSalle for sure, and hopefully translates into this role at an even higher level. But I started as an assistant at a small school in New York City, and moved to be a graduate assistant in the Patriot League, and then was kind of took a risk and took a head coaching job at a very underperforming team at LaSalle. And it took 5 years to make that into a top 100 program. Um, from there, moved to Northeastern University and had no intention of leaving after only one season. But the Rutgers opportunity is closer to my hometown. It's obviously some of the highest level volleyball that you can compete at, and it really checked a lot of the boxes that I was looking for in a long-term home for me.
Mhm,
So really
mhm.
excited to be here and just keep learning and keep growing and see if some of the same processes that I was able to work through at LaSalle are able to translate to our volleyball program here.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of players understand the huge differences between the different divisions, specifically with the Power Five. Explain to everyone a little bit about what the largest differences are that you see. And I know there's a lot of different directions you can go with that, but just give us like an overall difference recap.
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, I mean, if you're just talking about as a player, the physicality level is very high at this level. I mean, most of the players, all of my outside hitters are touching over 10 feet. I have middles that are touching 10'4". Not saying that you have to be at that. I think that there's many players who are very successful who might not be the best highest jumper, but the athletic level is very high, especially in the Big Ten. Volleyball IQ is also really important. So you have players who have been competing at against other really strong players at the junior level. So their volleyball IQ is just significantly higher. They have an understanding when they come in, of scouting reports, and they have an understanding of some strategical aspects of the game, which I would say that's a difference from what I've coached for at still Division I level, but maybe a lower level Division I level, where that had to be learned over time. Not an absolute necessity, just better understanding. And then the time commitment is more. I mean, we're playing a 20-match schedule that has multiple Wednesday matches. You play Friday, Saturday. Now, fortunately, we're able to travel with charter flights and things like that. But there's a very demanding time level of being a Big Ten athlete. It's manageable, and there's a lot of resources in place to help you get through the process, and something that my staff and I are very, very aware of all the demands. But the balance really has to be put forth to your athletics and to your academics, and it might ultimately end up eliminating some of the other things that you might be thinking of in a collegiate experience. So it's not for the faint of heart, but it is definitely a wonderful experience to play at this level.
And so, when you talk about the additional games and the larger schedule, what does that mean for an athlete reporting at the beginning of the season? When do they come? Do you have them do summer school? How does that look?
Yeah, so this year might look a little bit different, but traditionally we ask our freshmen to arrive at the start of our second summer session, which is right after the 4th of July. So you still have that time at home. And I think this year we were supposed to arrive like July 8th. And you'd be enrolled in a class or two and train with our strength and conditioning coach, get used to campus, do open gyms, that sort of thing, get to know the players. And then we would really start our normal preseason when everyone else in the country does, and that's in early August. So, we're getting the same amount of time. I would say the expectation of coming into those practices really in shape, really ready to go, so that we can eliminate some of that build-up time and get right into practicing to compete, which is the value of having summer school. I have had interest from people who have asked about graduating early, and that's definitely something that could be looked at on the table if there's opportunity for that, because I think there is value in doing that for the right person. You have to be willing to give up a few things out of your high school career, but also be able to come in and learn how to play at the Big Ten level a whole semester early. There's a lot of value in that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, I think coming from the coach perspective, now you've been, multiple different levels. How long does it take to really build your philosophy as a coach? And being a new coach in the Power Five, if I were to go to one of my players and explain what your coaching philosophy is, how would you describe it?
So a few things. I had a wonderful college experience. I had a unique recruiting experience where I had signed with one school and realized in my senior year that it wasn't the right fit for me. And it was a coaching change. So I ended up staying a little bit more in my comfort zone, I would say, but ultimately not in my comfort zone. I mean, I went to a private Catholic high school, all girls. So I had originally committed to a large public institution, and I think I would have thrived there as well, but I ended up going to a private Catholic college. And the volleyball level was actually lower than what I had originally signed to play. Anyway, through my time there, my coach had really explained to me of what her vision was of building that program up to being a powerhouse program. And I bought into that. And that's the same as what I'm looking for in our potential Rutgers players. But by the time I was done with that program and done with my collegiate experience, we were Big East champions and we were a top 25 team. So I had a wonderful experience, and I still have a great relationship with my coach. Anyways, going back to your question, she had a philosophy where she really wanted you to feel like she cared about you off the court as much as she did on the court. And I try and take that with me as my coaching philosophy, is that our players know that they're cared about 100%, not just by me, but by everyone that works within our program. That if you need something, we will be there for you. We really, truly, I know a lot of coaches say they have an open door policy, but we really, truly have that. Any time of the day, anytime that you need, we will be there for you. But I would say my other philosophy goes back to giving effort. We're looking for players who are willing to come in the door every day and kind of leave that baggage behind and give me that 2 hours, 3 hours of time and really give a lot of effort. I will give that effort. My staff will give that effort. And then we can get a sense of when maybe we're not having a great day, and we can talk about why. because we know what the top level of effort looks like. So it becomes a little bit of a disappointment factor if you're not performing at the level that we think you could perform.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think a lot of my players are like, oh yeah, I got my D1 scholarship, I'm starting college, and I don't think anyone really understands how difficult it is to be a D1 athlete until you're actually a part of the school. And knowing that you have, I think, a coach that you can go to for any of your needs and concerns, especially at a really large institution, is really important. The one-on-one training that you're able to offer in a typical spring, I think, is fabulous. I love the staff you've brought on. What positions do you like to train? How often do you like to, or how are you planning on getting the one-on-one experience? Talk about that, like the positional training aspects of it.
Yeah, so I was a middle blocker. So it's funny, last year during one of our matches, a free ball came over and we really needed the point, and I'm yelling to set the middle. My one assistant, who was an outside hitter in college, set the outside, and my setting coach was like, dump the ball. Like, we're all, very specific about what we like. So I do work closely with the middles. I care about them a lot, but I think I have a staff in place that is very highly technically gifted. And we're a unique staff. We all have different experiences under our belt. And we have some head coaching experience, which I think is fantastic. I'm a younger head coach. I mean, I'm only in my early 30s. I won't give my true age away, but I'm young for my age. So I don't take myself that seriously. I'm still open and willing to learn and adapt. And I value the experience that others can bring to me. But we really try and train and practice as a full coaching unit. I don't have a coach that say, well, you only train the outsides, you only train the setters, you only train the middles. We kind of try and rotate through. So, because what I've learned over time is that sometimes a certain voice doesn't always connect with someone. They might not truly understand what I'm saying, but maybe Robbie can say it in a different way, and that might connect. So I'm open to that. I think that's a great way to coach, but we're very feedback driven. We like to give a lot of instruction. You'll see us up and engaged during matches. Still, I think even during match play, you can give instruction and feedback. It doesn't have to be overwhelming, but you won't necessarily just see us sitting watching the match unfold. So I think that that's an important piece of what type of athlete we like to train. I like to train.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So Rutgers University, I've been able to get to know it a little bit more now that I'm a local New Jersey girl. Why would a Californian want to come to Rutgers University?
So, I'll be honest, I didn't even know too much about the campus. I grew up only about 150 miles away from Rutgers, and I had never been on campus. And when this opportunity presented itself, I was like, I have to see campus. I really need to see everything that's offered. And I came down to New Jersey. I came down to New Brunswick, and I was amazed. It's a large campus. It's a traditional Big Ten style campus where you have a lot of students, you have a lot of space, but we also have the proximity to the largest city in the United States. And we have a train that goes literally on campus that you get into Manhattan within about 35 minutes. So I've taken it, we've taken visits on the train, my staff has taken it. So it's really easy to marry up your athletic pursuits and what you're looking for at the highest level athletically with your academic pursuits. We allow for internships. We allow for, some of our courses even go into hospitals and things like that in Manhattan. So you have access. And I guess that's the biggest point, is the access to further on your career after your athletic career is over.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And balancing, the academics with the Big Ten, I'm sure is quite a challenge. What kind of academic support do you guys give to your players on the road and throughout the week?
Yes, I wasn't really too sure about what this would look like, because I came from an institution that is ranked as a very high level academic institution, and moving into now having to compete at the highest level of athletics, and then not realizing until I really started doing research on Rutgers that we are a very highly ranked national institution. I think we were ranked number 22 or number 23 last year as a public institution. So the academics are extremely important. We have an academic advisor who works directly with our team, travels with us, proctors tests, all those sort of things to make sure that you're getting what you need. A lot of our classes are filmed so that you can log back in and watch the lecture, so you're not just reading notes of your neighbor or friend or however you would get your notes. You can actually participate and watch. I think we're learning a lot with this WebEx. I think there's going to be more opportunity with online classes where you can log in. But we try to really make sure that your courses are balanced so that you're able to attend all your classes that you need, as well as participate in volleyball. We practice in the morning, so our practice block is from 8 a.m. till noon, and then all of our students will go to class from about 1 to 6 in the afternoon. Okay. So it is a long day, but it is a balanced day where you're not jumping back and forth between your courses and practice. I really tried to make sure that volleyball time is volleyball time, academic time is academic time. We also have tutors that you can sign up for or that are given to you. So you would meet with your tutor if you need it every week. And I thought the one thing that was very unique and I hadn't seen before is we have weekly academic advising meetings. So you're required to meet with our academic advisor weekly, give her updates on where you stand in your coursework, what's due, what's coming up, what tests you potentially miss, so that we can have a really good system in place for any makeup work that we have to do.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's got to be interesting with the international players, with players from all over the country, to try and establish like that team culture. How do you go about doing that at Rutgers?
Yeah, I played on a team that was extremely international. We had a nice balance between our international players and our American players. And that's what I'm looking for in the future of Rutgers Volleyball. Is I don't think we eliminate our international players by any means. It's really the heart and soul of what New York City even is. So it will continue, but adding a nice balance of domestic American players into the mix can, I think, help bridge the culture gap like you're talking about. But we're open and we're honest. We just, this past Sunday was Orthodox Easter. And I didn't really know that was different than our Roman Catholic Easter date. And so we celebrated 2 Easters as a team. So we're just learning a lot of different things. I'm learning different things. And this next fall, I want to celebrate that and help the players give presentations on their countries, on their hometowns, what they enjoy doing at home. So, we can just learn more about one another. But one of the nicest things, my first week, one of my Russian players brought me a bunch of Russian candy, and I had no idea what I was eating, but it was all good. So I think food is going to be the biggest bridge of the
there you go. I love it. And do you have them live together?
Yes. So we have an international dorm that you could choose to live in, but typically we have a freshman dorm right across the street from our gym, which is great. Has your own bathroom.
Right.
So I know that's always asked, but right across the street from the gym, and most of our freshman volleyball players, if not all of them, live in there. They can either live with each other or with another athlete. And then from there, you have a choice. We have a lot of on-campus housing options or off-campus housing options. So all of our athletes pretty much live together.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think the other question that's always asked is, tell me about your facilities.
Mm-hmm. So, I'll be honest, and I think that's important. I'm a very transparent person. If you're looking for like the biggest, best, brightest, newest locker room, then Rutgers probably isn't for you. We are in the process of upgrading a lot of our facilities. We have a team room being built as we speak. We're redoing our office spaces, but volleyball has become a priority with this staff change, and the administration knows that investment needs to be made into improving the program and the program's facilities. We play at an older gym, but it is a really cool, neat atmosphere. It holds about 3,000 people, and we have a nice TerraFlex floor. So, it is someone who's looking for, again, like I said, it's more about the relationships of coming to Rutgers, of what I can give you as a coach, of what the academics can give you. But we're definitely not neglecting our facilities by any means, but we're in the process of upgrading them.
Yeah. I've heard from just friends around where I live that have kids that are at Rutgers, what a really strong athletic, tight athletic department you have at Rutgers, and how that the culture just within the different sports is so tight. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it was definitely what drew me to this position of coming to Rutgers. From the minute that I stepped on campus during the interview process, I was greeted by everyone. Other coaches were willing to meet with me and answer my questions that I had about their coaching experience. I had personally found a home like 1 mile from our stadium. So we're right, a lot of people live right around campus. It is a very tight knit community, and everyone that's here, I mean, we're a baby in the Big Ten. We've only been in the Big Ten for a few years. So everyone that's here, as well as our athletic director and our assistant athletic directors, we're so excited and willing to put in the time and energy to, continue to improve the Rutgers athletic brand and really make us in every sport a contender within the Big Ten. You've seen that in, our rowing team is a top 10 team, and our basketball team became a top 25 team, both our men's and women's, and our football team has one of the best recruiting classes in the Big Ten this year. We're really moving in the right direction, so it's a really exciting time to be here.
Yeah, no, we're all very excited to see what your staff is going to accomplish. I know Steve very well. And one other thing I got to bring up about New Jersey, because I get this a lot, is I think some of the misconception is that it's all buildings and
Yeah.
there's, I don't know, just city. And it's called the Garden State for a reason. There are so many great hiking trails and lakes, and my son goes fishing almost every single day. You can be in the mountains. You can be, like you said, in Manhattan in a half an hour. It really offers.
Or at the beach, right?
Or at the beach.
Or
Yeah.
at the beach. Yeah.
Sure.
It's definitely a great place to live. We are not an urban campus by any means. We are a collegiate town. We have a little downtown area that offers everything that your typical large college campus offers. I live across the street from a petting farm. So there's literally everything you could possibly want here, for sure.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I really appreciate the time you've spent with us. I can't wait to come to some of your matches. Is there anything else that you want to share about Rutgers that we haven't covered yet?
No, I think ultimately this is just a new era for Rutgers volleyball. My main goal is just, unfortunately, with the recruiting season cut short, we were less able to get out and about this year. But you're going to see more of us. You're going to see more of us at tournaments. The goal is to continue to get to know people, and anyone who wants to come visit on campus, I'm more than willing to show anyone around. It is open, and we are here to answer any questions that anyone might have about the future of Rutgers volleyball. So we are excited to get started again after everything hopefully starts back up soon. But it's going to be a process. It's going to take time. I truly understand that a rebuild of a program is not an overnight situation, but we're looking for athletes who want to come in and set new goals and achieve new records that have never been met before, and really leave a mark on the Rutgers volleyball history. So that's the type of athlete that we're looking for.
Awesome. Thank you. And whenever you're out in California, we'd love to have you.
For sure.
Look forward to seeing you on the trail, and we'll encourage our athletes to get online and do some virtual tours of Rutgers and really try
Absolutely.
to your campus more. And wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking the time.
Bye-bye.